Hey, good morning, everybody. Today is March 1st, 2021. We've already broken into March. It's amazing how quickly February went. That was a fast month. I hope you guys are doing okay after the first week of the new trimester. Please reach out if you have any questions. I know that we kind of had some struggles logging on to the Read 180 application, but I sent over a couple of announcements. Hopefully those will work. We'll just keep trying to work out the kinks and make sure everything is working as it should. So, okay, today for the do now, we are looking at the word select. Okay, if I could select any three activities to do on the weekend, I would choose blank. Okay, if I could select any three activities to do on the weekend, comma, I would choose blank. Okay, I want you guys to fill that in. That will be your do now for today. Okay, now we're looking at the vocabulary and the next couple of pages, 146 and 147, for our story, the lottery. We know from the other day, just a quick reminder, we know that they ended up drawing, right? They drew the names, they drew the papers. And we know that Mrs. Hutchinson's husband, Mr. Hutchinson, was the one who drew the paper. And we also know that Mrs. Hutchinson was very mad. She was saying that it wasn't fair, that he didn't have the time that he needed to pick the one that he wanted. She was very upset. She was really upset. She was even saying that her daughters, who had been married, should have to draw again, and they said no because they draw with the husband's family. Anyway, so that's kind of what we've got going on right now. She was very upset with it. Okay, so today's vocab words are concerned and remove. Okay, so concerned, you can see the red words here. Involved, scroll in a little bit. Involved in something or affected by it. Okay, concerned. Okay, so involved in something or affected by it. Okay, and the part that you guys need to fill in, where dress codes are concerned, many students at my school fill blank. Okay, so where dress codes are concerned, how do students at your school feel? Okay, so we do have a dress code. Okay, we don't have school uniforms. We don't all have to dress the exact same, right? Okay, but we do have a dress code. You know, you can't show up to school with shirts that are going to be distracting to everybody else. You can't show up to school with you know, immodest clothing, things like that. So we do have a dress code. So where dress codes are concerned, many students at my school fill blank. I want you guys to fill in, you know, just fill in what do you feel like how do kids feel about our dress code here at school? Okay, all right. Um, remove. Okay, means to take something away, right? To take something away. Why might we want to remove unhealthy foods from school cafeterias? We might want to remove unhealthy food from school cafeterias because blank. Okay, you guys can fill in the rest with that. Okay, all right, now let's just skip over really quick before we do our reading. Okay, describe what happens after the first part of the lottery is complete. Okay, after the first part of the lottery is complete, blank. Okay, so what happens after the first part is complete? Okay, write one word from the text that describes how each of the Hutchinsons draws a lottery slip from the box. What does it tell you about each character? Okay, we have Dave, Nancy, and Tessie. Okay, so you're going to use one word to describe their character after we read about them. Okay, how does Tessie feel about the lottery? Use details from the text in your answer. Tessie fills that blank. Okay. All right, we're going to skip back. Okay, so let's go ahead and read. This is page 146. Okay. Then, as far as drawing for families is concerned, it's you, Mr. Summers said in explanation. And as far as drawing for households is concerned, that's you too, right? Right, Bill Hutchinson said. How many kids, Bill? Mr. Summers asked formally. 3, Bill Hutchinson said. There's Bill Jr. and Nancy and little Dave and Tessie and me. All right then, Mr. Summers said. Harry, you got their tickets back? Mr. Graves nodded and held up the slips of paper. Put them in the box then, Mr. Summers directed. Take Bill's and put it in. I think we ought to start over, Mrs. Hutchinson said, as quietly as she could. I tell you, it wasn't fair. You didn't give him time enough to choose. Everybody saw that. Let's see here. I have to zoom back out. Mr. Graves had selected the 5 slips and put them in the box, and he dropped all the papers but those onto the ground, where the breeze caught them and lifted them off. Okay, so to me, guys, it appears that Bill Hutchinson drew the bad card. So once he draws the bad card, now they put all of his family back in the box to draw again to narrow it down to one member of their family. That's kind of what it seems to me. Listen, everybody, Mrs. Hutchinson was saying to the people around her. Ready, Bill? Mr. Summers asked, and Bill Hutchinson, with one quick glance around at his wife and children, nodded. Remember, Mr. Summers said, take the slips and keep them folded until each person has taken one. Harry, you help little Dave. Mr. Graves took the hand of the little boy, who came willingly with him up to the box. Take a paper out of the box, Davy, Mr. Summers said. Davy put his hand into the box and laughed. Take just one paper, Mr. Summers said. Harry, you hold it for him. Mr. Graves took the child's hand and removed the folded paper from the tight fist and held it, while little Dave stood next to him and looked up at him wonderingly. Okay, so that tells us how Dave handles it, right? Nancy next, Mr. Summers said. Nancy was 12, and her school friends breathed heavily as she went forward, switching her skirt and took a slip daintily from the box. Bill Jr., Mr. Summers said, and Billy, his face red and his feet overlarge, nearly knocked the box over as he got a paper out. Tessie, Mr. Summers said. She hesitated for a minute, looking around defiantly, and then set her lips and went up to the box. She snatched a paper out and held it behind her. Okay, so that tells us about Tessie. Okay, Nancy, she was 12. Her friends breathed heavily, right? So what does that tell us? Bill, Mr. Summers said, and Bill Hutchinson reached into the box and felt around, bringing his hand out at last with the slip of paper in it. Okay, so daintily means to do something delicately or fussily, and then snatched means quickly or eagerly grabbed or grasped. Okay? All right, does that make sense to everybody? I want you guys to get these filled in. Okay? How does Dave, Nancy, and Tessie handle it? Okay, reacting right. How does Tessie feel about the lottery? Tessie's the mom, right? Okay. All right, we will stop right there. I'll get this uploaded, and you guys will be ready to go. Thanks so much.